if somebody has to come to me and say I'm being the bigger person, leave. I'm sorry, I don't like the terminology. It's like you just being a person with feelings. I keep thinking we doing Patreon. I don't know why, guys. I'm so sorry.
So what's going on, guys?
So what?
It's me again. Haiti Leone.
And it's me again, Jojo Renee. And we would have been two brand new Haiti Leones and Jojo Renee, but Jojo Renee didn't get the memo. So we're in the same outfit because this is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
But we're being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if you was on Patreon, things going on.
Yeah, the things
so that's why we're pre-recording. But yeah, this is episode 73. We hope you tuned in last episode. We still
74.
Here. 74. You see, we just recorded 73.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the same fits. This is the first time we do it, but bear with us.
Bear with us, please.
So it's been a long day.
It has been, but we've brought back one of our favorites, which is, you see the lip? I don't think you ever see the lip in the front like this. Look at the lip, guys.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you want to know how we doing, if you know what with the fresh up to date, go back to last week, 2 weeks ago episode. We addressed all of that there. But for today,
we got Russian roulette. And this time we got it in the lip. I think that's beautiful. This is the first Russian roulette we have in the new studio.
For sure.
So that was very exciting. We had the lovely Keverne write down our questions.
$1 million questions because
they are money. And you could get this money if you like, comment, subscribe. You see, I brought it in the beginning, guys. Y'all would be proud. Your mother would be proud of me.
That's what was one of her more.
This was for you. Yeah.
That was one of her notes.
Yeah, I need to say it more. As in, I don't wait too long to say the comment and subscribe. I took the feedback on board. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what these questions is about.
You actually know about the internet. But that is a good note, mommy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you.
Yes.
So wait, we didn't do a song of the week last episode.
No, and we didn't do a random question, but does it matter? We have a bunch of questions.
We got a bunch of questions. We could save the random questions.
My song of the week that I wanted to enter last episode is I've been obsessed with Elmine for like a couple months now. Yeah. I've been talking about it, I know, but it pushed all the way to November.
Oh.
So I ain't gonna steam till November. But he been dropping albums. He coming up with another album again. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but my favorite song from him is Open Light. I love that song.
Okay.
So I add it to the list.
Mine is La Vie Du by Rio. And who else is on it?
What genre?
La Vie Du, La Vie Du.
Oh,
That's my song. Wait, let me make sure I include the other person because that would be rude. But shall we do two since we missed last episode?
No.
Okay, never mind. Moving on. And then, no questions. Okay, these are the questions.
We would usually have a random question, but these going to be our random questions for today because Keverne did it.
Yeah, you could go first.
I'm so intrigued because Keverne, if y'all don't know, Keverne always asks these questions. I'll just be like, I am not in the headspace for this, Keverne.
But he always have you should be an interviewer. Hikey, I do think you would do pretty well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a natural curiosity.
This is an interesting question. Is being the bigger man worth it? On a $10 bill.
Bye.
Yeah.
What's your response?
It should have been a $10. Honestly, I think if you have a big ego, it's worth it. Because I think a lot of the times, I always used to want to be the bigger person, but I think that used to feed my ego. And I used to feel like how I perceive myself. As in, I don't want to be a shit person. I should be the bigger person and do this. Okay, wait, no. Does that make sense with my ego?
I don't know. I have the total opposite.
Okay. No, I try to say that's the right word. Bigger person in a situation. I guess it depends where are we in the storyline. Mm-hmm. I feel like if it's something that's past, maybe there's another conversation that could be had or something, but it's something could be done. I feel like if you want to address it again and be the bigger man or reach out and I don't know if ego is the right word.
Because what part do you feel feeds the ego? Like, where in being the bigger person do you feel like ego is present?
Yeah, I think I was thinking when the situation is over. And like, you know, when people like, I have to have the last word and I have to make this right. And I have to like do what's right in this situation to like,
But
that's
is
what I
that
was
being
thinking.
the bigger?
I feel like some people like, I always thinking, even if it's a relationship and whatever, and people want like to have the real conversations to make sure you end this well and you don't go and, you know, and some people are just okay with it not having to have those last minute or closure conversations. That's what I was thinking. And I was like, I used to feel like I have to do that because it's like
being the bigger person.
I being a bigger person, but I think why I couldn't let it go was because it's like, I don't know if it's ego. I think it's my perception of myself. That's why saying ego might be the wrong word. But if we're in the middle of a situation, worth it though.
I would have to define being the bigger person because essentially being a bigger person is not... Okay, what I got as being the bigger person is like not being petty or not letting pride get in the way. So the biggest thing for me of being the bigger person is putting pride aside, which is why I was like, I think the opposite. Whereas like I not being the bigger person to fulfill myself. I'm also, I don't even like to phrase it as being the bigger person because then it makes a hierarchy of who big and small.
Yeah, but that's why when I hear it, I'm not even thinking of like things as in relation to being petty and stuff like that. I thinking literally like if a situation reach a place already that bad,
yeah,
I feel like being the bigger person is like having the solution that's bigger to solve it. That's how I just look at it. I feel like, but I get what you mean because you could already be in a situation and how somebody handle it could be the bigger person way of handling it, and how somebody handle it could be petty.
I can be honest, I don't like the bigger person terminology. I just be very honest. Like for me, take away the petty, I mainly mean pride. I realize like my thought brought me there. I think in my views on being a bigger person, it means you put your pride aside. But I don't like the terminology of bigger person because it means that the other person's smaller. Where it's like, I just think it's being a person. If I had to say it, being a bigger person, it would be being a bigger person within myself. So it's like me putting my pride aside is allowing me to be bigger than I was yesterday. Not to make it like thing, because I know that, for example, like say we had a falling out, I know I want this person in my life, but my pride is there and I'm not being a bigger person and just biting the bullet to address things or just to come amicably from a place of like, okay, let's really try to solve this. But that whole being a bigger person thing, that is an ego thing. Like I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, you think you being a bigger person because it looks good, rather than actually just being a person. I don't like bigger person.
I think that's where, I was trying to draw the collections, but you draw the collections for me. I meant connections, guys.
No, but it do make sense though.
Yeah, I feel like it feeds your ego if you're trying to be a big person.
Yeah, because you're performing in a sense where it's like, oh, this makes me look good.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody has to come to me and say, I'm being the bigger person, leave. I don't like, I'm sorry, I don't like the terminology. It's like you just being a person with feelings and you putting your pride aside.
Yeah.
That's
but is it worth it?
Is it $10?
That's the question.
It's being a bit 100%.
We know we don't like the term, but at the end of the day, is it worth it?
If it's worth it from the place that I just said as being the bigger person than I was yesterday and putting my pride aside, it's 100% worth it.
But I think this is also where I also feel I was trying to explain that I also get satisfaction with knowing I was the bigger person. That's why I feel like sometimes it feeds how I see myself. I feel like I can't let it go without being the bigger person.
I understand that.
But I just, you get what I mean?
I fully get that.
Being a bigger person.
And that's where we go into
I mean,
different...
like, I'm not going into the detail of the word because we don't have the energy for that today. But for example, the explanation you just had, like let's say you had a falling out with a person.
Yeah.
Some people handle it like, let's have a very constructive conversation and let's talk about it.
And then you go home and feel self-righteous.
And then you feel like, you see, because of me, we were able to have this conversation. That's where I feel like that could be seen as the bigger person.
I think that's
where some people just could be like, I need to talk to you. And then they see that as like the not bigger approach.
Yeah, I fully understand that because I do think that's the mass perspective on it from a place of like, it is a case of like, okay, is being a bigger person worth it? But worth what? For me, being a bigger person is worth the relationships or connections that I could fix. That's worth it.
Yeah.
If that comes from a place of having a level of vulnerability, like I mentioned to you before, there was a falling out that I had where you was checking like the way that person speak to you, for you to still be trying is crazy. And that wasn't me being a bigger, sorry, I hate that term, but thanks Keverne for the question. But that wasn't me necessarily being a bigger person. That was me putting my pride aside, being a bigger person than I was previously, because I would have never done that before, and realizing that I'm doing this because I value this connection, not because I want to feel better about myself. Like,
but I don't, sometimes I think it's so deeply ingrained in us that it's not like you really going out there to like feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is that you wouldn't rest not handling this in a amicable way. But I mean necessarily that you're trying to like feel better about yourself.
Gotcha.
But I think also, like, as you saying, at the end of the day, that just means you are a good person. Next question.
Word. Let's end it off there. I tell you. Okay. How much dollars I get is? $10. Okay. What's your biggest fear? Not enjoying food anymore as much as I enjoy it.
You know why? I agree with that, because I listen to like my mother and generations. Like, I need to eat. What do you mean you don't need to eat?
What? Are you okay?
I eat this, like, especially when I go back and let's say like we was gonna do this to go eat it. She's like, I had that already. I'd be like,
even when my mother said, yeah, I don't need breakfast or anything like that, I good. What?
But then they say like the older you get, because your body is like, it breaks down food differently, and you're
shit. So I gotta change my fear because
it's inevitable. So it's like,
you know what's my biggest fear? Y'all not like, comment, and subscribe. Miss Glendolyn, this is for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll be scared. But sorry, what you were saying?
No, that's good. What is my biggest fear?
I gonna be honest with y'all, and this is deep and depressing. My biggest fear is being lonely. As in, I don't know how people reach that point, but I would be very scared to have that, you know, like saying where it's like you're in a room full of people and you still feel very alone. There's moments where I feel alone, but my biggest fear would be growing old, lonely.
Not necessarily single, because you can have community. Last episode.
Check the last
episode. You can have community in whatever forms.
Yeah.
And not be alone.
But like, even if I had a husband, to still feel like I'm alone, that kills you quicker than cigarettes and sitting down for too long. So for me, it's like, I need that.
You know what's a deep one to that?
What?
Like, I remember there was a certain point in my life I used to feel like I don't want to get... Let me rephrase this. Remind me to tell you what I was gonna say. I don't want to be way old in the future, and I spent my life with the wrong person. So it's like I actually rather be single than had a whole life with the wrong person. That used to be one of my fears, which was one of the biggest motivations of getting out my last relationship.
Yeah. And I think from that last relationship, you know, that never gonna happen again.
No. So then it's like, I was just like, I don't ever want to be like that in the future, where it's like I'm 50, 60, and it's like, did I just waste 30 years of my life? Yeah. That used to be one of my biggest fears in that situation.
I understand.
But now I'm like, yeah. So it's like I have to sometimes tell myself, it's like, what's the alternative? The alternative is like what you didn't want. So don't think that you being alone is bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, being alone is okay. Being lonely.
No, but because back to the being single thing.
Yeah.
I was like, that being single is necessarily always bad, because it's like that sometimes is way more like better.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie,
being in a wrong situation.
Keverne, there was points in my life I was like, I could be single forever, and I'll thrive still. Yeah, as in like, you have to find happiness within yourself. And I do think that people come into your life and, you know, they add value, which is what I want to keep. like I want to keep having that feeling of like, oh my God, I love everybody around me type shit, but not in an unrealistic way. But it's a case of like that manifests in a lot of different ways. Yeah. Okay, next one. I like these questions, by the way. Big up you.
Would you beat your kids? Would you beat your kids?
I would not beat my kids. That's a good question, Keverne. Sorry. I don't have it in me, guys. Like, I can't even beat my cats. Like, and they do dumb shit. So if I can't beat them for doing things that kids do worse shit sometimes. But
I don't know. Oreo tried through my laptop the other day.
And you slap her.
I had to.
I understand.
Like, I feel like she needs to know she can't do this.
I ain't gonna lie. Mine is deep rooted in the neurology of beating kids.
It was $20.
But I don't fully. It was $20?
That was. Continue. The neurology of beating kids.
Yeah. Sorry. Wait, no, but you pulled the question and I answered first.
You could go to your answer.
Oh, because I feel like you teach them not to do things out of fear. I would rather teach my kids not to do things out of understanding. So for me, if I could be at that point where I'm not like raging to actually talk to them and be like, do not do this but in a stern way, of course, I'm not going to coddle my kids, then I'm fine. I don't think I should put my hands on them. But I also come from a place of not being beaten. However, I've seen my sister get beat. But I was a little princess who cried too quick. And luckily, I didn't get beat for crying. So it comes from, I don't think it just comes from that, though. I generally just don't feel like I would do that. Mainly because, I also feel like I kind of set an example of, like, how to reprimand. And I don't think reprimanding needs to be physical.
That was an off camera. I was going to ask why she used to get beat and you didn't.
Because she was terrible. Elisha, I know you don't mind me talking about you on the pod. My sister was an asshole, but in the best way. Like, bless her so much because she just knew who she was. And she showed up as that person, even if it came off disrespectful sometimes. Like, yeah. There was a time... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to be putting her business out there, but we was getting ready for school. And my mother used to do this thing, and she knows she used to do this. We would be in our pajamas, and she'd be like, oh, are you babe? We in our pajamas. You know we ain't babe. So my sister is a smart ass. So she'd be like, yeah. But my mother know why she answered. So they both just,
going
what do you call that? They
combating.
picking at each other.
Oh, okay.
And my mother said something to my sister, and my sister did, Next time I see my mother charge in the room, pats, and I'm standing blocked because the closet, and the bed, and then my sister's in front of me, so I can't move. So I just have to stay there, and I'm like telling her to shut up, just shut up, shut up. And then she said something else, and then they just go at it. But yeah, so she was that type of person where she just didn't care, but in a way that I respected because it's like, don't get me wrong, don't disrespect your parents. She wasn't very disrespectful. She was just like, the kids. Kids will be kids. But I was very scared of... My father's hands are really big. So for me, I was like, I don't want to be in a position, or I would not put myself in a position to get beat, really. Yeah, I used to get beat by my sister, though. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why...
Okay, but making me wonder, like, let's say you do have a kid that's worse behaved than the other, like... How does one approach work? The same approach work for both? Because then I was like, for your parents, one got beaten one. So I was there thinking, like, what would I do in that situation where one kid is like...
I would still approach them the same as the other.
Yeah, so my approach would always also be not beat. I think we talked about this in boot camp episode, which was like episode 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I was just like, back then my parents used to beat us, but then they would have a whole sit down.
Yeah.
Whereas like we would have a whole conversation that would take 2 hours until we really understand why we were punished. And I feel like I would quickly take that approach versus beating.
100%.
Yeah.
And I do
because I think that is punishment in itself.
That part.
I used to rather kneeling than the sit downs.
Really? What, kneeling for what?
That was one of my punishments.
You had to just kneel.
Sit on kneel.
Shit. Sorry. Yeah, nah, with Elisha, because I can't, my punishments was really getting like yelled at and stuff like that, or not being able to leave the house. But yeah, with Elisha, it was really just one time she get hit with a ruler.
No, we used to get beat.
Oh.
Like I remember telling, story. I had a time, my brother, because my brother, like, he's such a nice being now. But, like, he was so cunty. Like, and I used to say but, like, I think also from a level of, like, I know who I be, and I don't stand on this. So it's like, hey, remember I had a time. Here, my mother said something, and the answer he gave, even I was like, and when I see my mother just charge at him, I was like, you know the meme of the woman in the courthouse?
But it's also when you hear them footsteps. Because with us, it's like, when she did the she was in the room. And then you had dum, 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 dum. You know problems coming. And I was even scared of them footsteps from Elisha. One time she threw my Jordans and our airco had a leak. And she threw it in the water.
You said true?
Threw my Jordans. I saw you guys. She didn't nail my shoes. She threw my Jordans. And I said something, but I didn't expect her to come back. I heard the footsteps. She come back, and
it was a rap.
Yeah, but anyways.
Next question.
$10. What are your body goals? To get jacked. Oh yeah, I have. That's scary, guy. What?
Oh my god!
You know not to mess with me. If you don't press the like, comment, and subscribe, I will find you.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa,
that's such a personal question. The other one,
and I'm left-handed, so this should be stronger.
Oh no, maybe it's just the shadow from the mic.
No, this muscle definitely dinger.
Guys, I look like a bodybuilder. That's scary.
Don't fight with small spoon.
I think it's the camera. I think it's the angle or something.
Why my arms are so? Look at my triceps. Wow. Okay, let me stop now. What's your body goals?
To lose fat so you could see my muscles.
I hear it.
You do. That's what I mean. Yeah. So like, I know I have it, but you ain't gonna see it because the fat in the way.
You wanna know how we know she got it? Because she does bike in the Hague.
That's a perfect.
No, but I definitely strong. I find it so funny. They have this girl I've been admiring for like 2 years in the gym. Like how heavy she just lift.
Yeah.
And the other day she come to me, she's like, you know, you're so strong. I was like, me? Have you seen you? And we just fangirl over each other. Because she was like, no, but you've been lifting heavier than the man that in my back. I'm very good with my how heavy I can lift in my back and arms. I was like, but how you just be lifting like 200.
That's crazy.
250 in
hip thrust.
Yeah. And I'd just be like,
I admire those girls because even for me that's hard. For me, my max is 65 on each side. That's 65 kilos on each side. So that's 130 plus the bar is 20. So that's 150.
Yes.
Oh shit, that's still a lot.
Oh, but when I see her stacking more than this, I'd just be like, so when she come to me, I was like, thanks.
Yeah, it hold even more weight.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Especially pun intended. But especially when you've been fangirling about this person. So I was like, I know it though. It's just, you know.
I think my body goals is to just stay fit till I die. Like I will never leave the gym. As in, you know when you start your gym journey and it's like, yeah, no, I just want to reach this point. But then as you gymming, you realize I got to stay here to keep at this point. Yeah, but my main thing is just to be extremely fit, core. So that's why Pilates, love it. This is from boxing, I think. Or I also do weightlifting. And my goal with weightlifting is that you can see my muscles through my pants. My legs. Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting goal.
Yeah, I love to see women's quads where they're like a stallion kind of little bit. Yeah. Anyways, so that's
interesting.
Yeah. But
you could do gua sha on your legs and get a same.
No, but I don't want it to be defined to the point where it's like constantly seen because I love a smooth leg. It's more so, there's a girl I saw and she has the perfect thing of it where it's like, it's very natural. But when you see certain angles, you know I work out. For me, I just want people to know I work out, but not from a place of like ego for people to know I work out, but just my body to be so fit that it's like, you can't question if I take care of myself. Because
I hate these conversations, by the way.
Really?
Like, I had this I ain't gonna try another bus, but we had this conversation when I was back home. Cause I realized like a lot of my friends, they always like, they could see we could be having like a normal day, but it's like maybe 10 times a day they're always talking about, I wish my body looked like that. I wish my body looked like that.
Yeah.
And so we was having this kumbaya moment on the beach talking about our year. And we were just being honest with each other about stuff. And I was like, I wish y'all would stop talking about what y'all body should look like. Because I feel like that's also, it plays into like this perception of like what a body should be. And I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, of course, I understand body goals. But I feel like when it's deeper to the fact of like, you think that a body should look a specific way, that's when
it gets sticky.
Yeah. But that's why I hate these
understand.
conversations. And I feel like it's more something to journal about.
Keverne, you're fired.
No, but I mean like it's fine. I feel like you can speak about body goals, but I hate when it's always the topic of conversation how your body should look like.
I understand.
Yeah.
I just want to be fit.
Yeah.
Next question.
This is my own?
I think yeah. Oh God.
Have you gotten over all your insecurities?
And that's $50. Sorry.
How bad do you want it?
I don't think you ever get over. As in, I need to start answering the questions that you pull out.
I was wondering, first of all, you didn't spell it right. But
You're fired.
I was hungry.
it's fine. That was one of my random questions.
What?
Do you think you would do well in a spelling bee?
I think I would do great.
I wouldn't.
No, but you are an English teacher.
That doesn't mean anything.
True. The amount of words you just get
Like
mixed up.
I remember like in like studying, like when we used to study vocabulary, bruh.
Like if I asked you to spell chauffeur.
Nah, I could do it, man. I could do it. But at the same time, like, I don't know. But anyway, that's off topic.
Yeah. We went on a tangent.
But I tell you one of my random questions. Anyway, see, a lot of people think insecurities could be external. But I have realized that one of my insecurities is internal. And it's like, I see somebody talk about this yesterday on a podcast where it's like, they was talking about Kim Kardashian, where it's like, right now Kim Kardashian and Kourtney always having this bicker because Kourtney feel like she's doing too much. And Kim is like, but I want to do this. Yeah. And then, so Totally from the Receipts was talking about like, but oftentimes all the things that we want to do and accomplish is not because, what she was trying to say is because I know I got more in me.
Yeah. You know your potential.
You know your potential. And she was like, maybe Kim have this thing of like, I know I got more in me and I'm not at my capacity yet, so I could just keep going.
Okay.
So it's like, it used to be an insecurity for me that I feel like I haven't reached it, but it's not that I don't feel like I haven't reached it. It's just that I feel like I haven't reached my capacity. Like it is
but
still
do you
more...
feel like capacity will ever be reached?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Like, what do you mean?
As in like, my capacity is reached when I'm in a coffin. Well, I want to be cremated when I'm dust.
But I feel like there's a level of capacity in the sense of like, okay, I feel, because then I feel like you keep moving the goalpost then.
But the goalposts don't always have to look like what society defines the goalpost
No,
as.
but I mean, personally, for myself, I don't want to keep moving the goalpost. I feel like then I'm going to keep chasing this thing.
Let me put it, but okay, I gonna land, right?
Okay.
So your capacity and your goalpost now is with regard to like career, right?
Not necessarily.
Or things you achieve, let me say
things
like
I
that.
want to just do. It don't have to be achieved.
And do you feel like your capacity, you arrive at that like when you made it, quote unquote?
No, when I do all the things I know as a little girl I wanted to do. So it's like once I've done all of that, I feel like I've reached the capacity I know I was able to do. But I don't mean I'm going to stop.
Because capacity, I don't think, because look, that you reach, and I understand what you mean, where it's like, this is the capacity you set from being a little kid, and these are the dreams that fall in line with the capacity. But I do think capacity, like with Kim, she'll find new capacity. There will always be capacity. You know, like when you have a thesis and you ask one question, but then when you get in the answer for that one question, you have like 5 other questions.
But I feel like then you're looking at the actual definition of the word.
Oh, no. I just mean in the sense of when I get old, now I would need to have, or I would tell myself, oh, I have more capacity to plant this garden. Whereas like, I keep creating the capacity.
I get
Like,
what
it
you
always
mean, but I mean, like,
expands.
even those things, like, I one day want to also grow stuff in my yard back home, but it's like, yeah. It's not like you don't always get to do all of it. So it's like, I guess once you reach a certain percentage of all of it,
Yeah.
is when you feel like, okay, which even ties into like why I feel like I'm still in this country. Whereas like I feel like once I get to do certain things or experience certain things, that's when I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's also deeper in the sense of like being content with what all you want to do. I feel like I ain't reached that place yet.
So that's where you feel like insecurity comes in.
Yeah, because then you
Okay.
feel like, am I doing enough to reach where I want to do? Because then you in this battle with yourself of like, you feeling insecure that you didn't do it,
Yeah.
but then you got to do it to not feel insecure.
And then when you do it to not feel insecure, you realize new ways where you're going to feel insecure because now you feel like you could do more.
I don't know. I don't aspire a lot.
It
That's
doesn't.
on wild. I said I don't aspire a lot.
No, but I
then
understand
I was
what
like,
you
I had to
mean.
be very honest with myself at a certain point. I was like, okay, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And focus on those things. And of course, after you do that,
Yeah.
other things can come that is your capacity. But I feel like if things been in use for 20 years, that's the capacity I'm talking about.
I understand.
But even for Kim, for example, she didn't always want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
That was another capacity that came
Exactly.
afterwards. So I get that. But I talking about the things that been in me from young.
Makes sense. And I have similar ways. Like that's why I say I feel like you always find insecurities. Like I don't think insecurity is just specific to one thing. I think going through high school, your insecurities are very physical. Even beyond that, social media makes it very hard. But I do agree, like there's a lot of people don't realize like a lot of insecurities could just be very internal with regards to how you view yourself, not from a physical sense, but from a sense of what you're doing in your life. And I feel like why I think there will always be insecurity is because there will always be uncertainty. And with uncertainty comes a level of insecurity, like, can I handle this? Or can I do this? Or what would they think of me? Or blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I don't think we'll ever get over insecurities, but I do think we'll learn how to better deal with them. I would hope. But yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
the
$50
question was
answer.
all your insecurities, though. You say all of your insecurities.
There's, yeah, like I can't say all because there will always be.
No, yeah. So, but there's certain things you can't do that you will get over.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. You're hired again.
That's $100 question.
Oh,
This is like in order.
No.
no. But you said yes. I feel like you know what this question is. Because you know the $100 question. And
He
I
didn't even look at the number.
I say yes because I heard again. That's why I say yes.
Oh.
He was like, I heard again.
I love that I got this. How would you describe love? And it's so funny.
I know that was going to be one of your questions.
Oh, you know.
Because I was thinking about that recently.
What, J. Cole was singing about this or something?
I mean, he always singing about it.
True. I know. I said love is a... By the way, guys, I said in the last episode, so I shouldn't say it here, so you could go check the last episode if you didn't see it. We gonna wait. We gonna link the episode right here, so go check it. But
Write that down.
in the last episode I mentioned, like recently, I always thought love was a feeling.
But recap what you said last episode.
No, and that's why it's leading into it.
Oh.
I always thought love was a feeling, and recently I understood that it's an action, and the feeling itself is a culmination of positive feelings that contribute to love. So like affection, what do you call it? Admiration, yada, yada, yada. But what I've generally understood about love now is love is the purest form of magic. That's how I view it, because I can't even describe what love is, because love in itself is indescribable. I feel like love in itself is so complex, but also so like unearthly. It sounds a bit crazy, I guess, but I feel like the beauty in it could just heal the world. Not to sound corny. And the beauty in it comes from the fact that it's action. It comes from the fact that you actively choose to love, and it's not something that just, in my opinion, disappear. It's more something that gets diminished or diluted or covered up. And I think a lot of what we experience in the world is because of a lack of love, just from a place of like being in survival mode doesn't give you a chance to be in love. And it's it's a broad topic and a deep conversation. But in itself, I do feel like love is at the core of who we all are. And I feel like love is just magic. If I had to describe love, I think love is just magical. But I can't describe love. But I just did. And love is you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm done. That's the last one. But yeah, what do you describe love as?
I feel like I not know what to answer this question. Next question.
I understand.
Okay. Is this the last question? It is.
Is it 100? It's $50. Oh no.
When was your last physical fight?
Keverne.
When was yours?
I never been in a physical fight.
Exactly, me either. And we remember when I literally had this conversation, Jody was like, the last time I fight, I was like, you fight? And she was like, yeah, in small school.
But I wasn't my last fight.
Oh.
My last fight was with my sister. It was the funniest thing, physical. This is the first and last time we ever got, well, no, she beat me when I was smaller. But it was like the first time we proper got physical from a reciprocity state. But it's funny, guys. So I used to come to the Netherlands when my sister moved here just to visit. And she won't mind me telling this because we even forgot what we fought about. We just know what happened. So we was in my cousin's bed because we were staying by my cousin.
Yeah.
And we start arguing about something. And you know, like how in those movies they go like this. We started doing this. And then we stopped and it was so awkward. And then she went downstairs and told my cousin the whole story. And then, yeah, we just became
I'm so
friends.
confused. You consider that a fight?
That was a fight, guys. It was a cat fight.
That does not count.
Fine, then, yeah, then it was...
2017, I also fought my sister, but like real fight this time.
Nah, my sister and I never fight like that.
And this was my chance.
Okay, then it was small school.
I've
For
never
sure.
fought a day in my life.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. She had to get it.
Nah. I'm trying to think.
Sorry. But anyways,
That was it, guys.
that was it.
We know it's
when last time
short.
you fight though? Sorry.
Have you ever fought?
Yeah, I
No.
can't see that about fighting. I would see you fighting to go speak to Spice or something, but I don't see you fighting. But you?
Nah, I've never been in a real fight.
Okay, good.
Because what you consider a real fight? Not this.
Yeah, definitely not that.
It's clearly the fire signs that have an issue.
Lord. No, we do though. Hikey. No, but I'm not a fighter. The small school thing was because the bully told the girl to do something and then she did it and I didn't like it, so I got on her bus and then just
You know what my thing is? And like I know that I could see red. So
yeah.
it's like I don't ever tap into that.
My sister has the same thing.
I don't ever tap into that. But I don't think anybody has ever
Pushed you to that point.
Nobody has ever pushed me to that point either though.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way. But are you pushing us to the point if you don't press like, comment, or subscribe? Just saying.
Oh my God.
that now it's the last one. Especially because the
Alright.
episode done.
Yes. we
Thank
know
y'all.
it was a short one, but it was short and sweet.
It was very sweet.
And I really liked the Russian Roulette episode.
It was nice. We're going to send you a contract now. But anyways, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you bi-weekly on Tuesdays. Bye.
And join the Patreon.
Duh.
Like, we
It's
just
lit
say
over
it
there.
enough. Like, and we have new tales.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you just want the extra episodes, it's $3.99. If you just want the extra episodes and the ad-free episodes,
The vlogs.
instead of listening to YouTube ads, $6.99. And if you want vlogs, all the good things, discount, merch, discount for the studio, you want crazy content, $10.99.
So check it out. And by the way, a lot of Patreon is kind of like this.
Yeah.
Like, this is how, that's why I'm dressed the same. Because I thought it was Patreon. But this is the vibe on Patreon. And I know, like, even though this was short, I know it was sweet. So you just please sign up. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Keverne.